Hey guys, welcome to our new show where we talk about survival stories on Malaysian businesses. Now today we have Chuck over here.
Hi.
Yeah, we're going to be co-hosting this session. And of course, my good friend here, Joescher here. He's an expert with businesses, and he's coached many businesses, and a handful of have actually even IPO'd as well. So we've got fantastic stories, and welcome to the show, Joescher, and thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for appearing on our first show of Jalan. So I think when we were thinking of names for this show. We went through a few options, and we thought Jalan was a very nice word that can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. So Jalan could mean, okay, let's go, right? Jalan could also mean a journey, and Jalan in a Malay context could also have a connotation of the end of a journey as well. So there's many ways that we can go about this show, but we are very privileged to have Joescher here for our first one, because you've had experiences with many companies, many SMEs with your company 10x Coaching and 10x Valley. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Okay, so thank you for having me here on your show, Jalan. Ada Jalan, right?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, at my company, I'm a 10x strategy coach. So this is our core company. Basically, we have two main offerings, right? I call it one-to-one coaching or a group coaching. So one-to-one coaching, we provide coaching services. We help companies go through these three stages, which I believe all companies would have go through these three stages. Yeah, but many of them could start in a certain stage, right? So these three stages, I call it franchise ready, IPO ready, and future ready. Okay. Another word, franchise ready, we call it formularized. IPO ready, we call it corporatized, and future ready, we call it globalized. Okay. Again, it's not a yes or no answer. So everyone will go through a journey. Whether you want to be franchised or not, or you are franchisable or not, you should be franchise ready. Simple term is, why do you go franchise? Why people buy a franchise? For the brand, for the system, for the SOP, for the customer, all this, right? So same. You should run your business as a franchise-ready business. Means that you continue add formula to your business.
Yep.
Because when you first start, it's a mixture of feeling and formula. But I believe when you first start a business, probably 99% feeling, 1% formula. But over the years, you just increase the formula. So that is 1 to 10. How would you rate your business being a franchise-ready business? Then you move on to IPO-ready.
Yep.
Same meaning, whether you are going for IPO or not, you should be IPO-ready. Another is corporatized, right? The company can run, grow without you, and is sustainable. Then last but not least is globalized. Another word is future-ready. Again, you don't want to go global, but you should benchmark against that. Means that if today I take your business, put into other country, can it still run? I always use these three benchmarks. Number one is you must have a global perspective. Number two, global standards. And number three is global competitiveness. So if you have all this, then you are future ready. So I think all business should be continue growing towards this stage. So exactly what I do is to help companies do that, right? We go through our coaches. Mostly it's one-to-one. And our group coaching is called Mastermind. That is our offering to a group of businesses. We have different team, right? So one team is IPO ready, who really we're partner with Alvin is also a resident mentor. That we come together and help people who have reached certain size and they are on the journey of going for IPO. We nurture them, right?
Yep.
And the other one is called CXO's Mastermind, is mainly supporting our group. So and our coach, because it's one-to-one coach, they mostly coach the CEO, but they are up and coming HOD. They want to put to the C level. But there's always a gap, right? From head of department or grow to the company in 20 years, but they are not really C level. So we actually group them together to groom them to be the C level. That's why I call it CXO Mastermind.
Right.
So the first one is IPO Ready Mastermind. Last one is F&B Mastermind. Of course, as it says, it's for F&B, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that is, but our main offering is still the 10x strategy coach. We have a one-to-one coaching with the CEOs and entrepreneurs to help them to be IPO ready, franchise ready, and future ready.
Right. So a few questions here to digest what you just said, because I'm not as familiar with your company as Alvin is, right? So the first one is franchise ready. So meaning to say, as I understand it, a company, like say someone like me starts a business, we kind of don't know what we're doing, but we have some moderate success or whatever, we see something happening. We actually don't know why, right? And then after that, what you mean by franchise ready is we actually try to analyze why and replicate it across many different places. Is that what you mean by franchise ready?
Yeah. In fact, entrepreneur, like you say, says it right. They mainly based on feeling, right? Gut feel. Let's start it, and they make it. They don't know why. They fail. Also don't know why. Right. So, but what we do is that we have a system. we call it a 10x strategy wheel. So it's 10 pillars of business. So from leadership to strategy, finance and cash flow, marketing and positioning, branding, talent. So all different pillars, and each pillar we break down in 5 areas each. So there's 10 pillars, 50 areas that we use to diagnose or use to audit for the client. Because usually when you're in business, you don't see a business in that way, right? You just do. Right? So but we break down in such a way so that we can find out where is the problem. Sometimes may not be problem, it will be opportunity. Where is the opportunity they couldn't tap into? So where is the problem? How big is the problem? And do we need to solve the problem? Right? So many times you may not need to solve it, because for entrepreneur, their strength is problem solver, right? Every problem you want to solve, but you know every problem takes resources, right? Time, people, money. But you must know every business also got problem one more. You go to Microsoft, Google, or even Tesla, also got problem one. So every business will come with problem. But let's say, because I talk about 50 areas, let's say they got 12 problems. But what if the one that really bring the biggest impact and ROI is number 8, for example? Right. But what they do is that first problem I will solve, second problem I'll go and solve, third problem I'm going to solve. Every problem come with resources, time, people, money. By the time they go to the third, fourth, they also drain already.
No prioritization.
So they give up, and they give up. Then they say, that's it, man. I mean, not worth it, and they just gave up.
So, but do you think that most businesses, big or small, actually there is a formula that can come out from it?
Okay, good question. Our principle is this: best of both worlds is in the intersection. So I always believe there is two extreme. One is feeling, total based on feeling. One is totally 100% formula. I think both also will fail, right? But it's really the intersection.
Right,
where is it?
right.
But is it not? But where is the intersection? Definitely not 50%, right? If like that, everyone also successful.
Yeah.
But it's dependent on the stage of your business, and the intersection do move. And that's why the intersection, where is the intersection, is the wisdom of the entrepreneur.
Okay.
Where do they find the intersection? Because when you start up, probably more here, and then you just need to find the intersection. That's why I say if there's a formula, I would believe yes. I think coming from a strategy consulting background, right, we can actually really break down and analyze anything. Right? I give you an example that one of our clients, like Penang Cendol, right? It's a cendol.
Oh, yeah.
So when we first consult them, they are one store. But now, of course, you know, they are 30, 40. They just opened in Taiwan. They are going globalized, regionalized, right? So one was the biggest challenge to scale that up is, you know, it's an 80 over years business from the grandfather.
This is the original shop that's between a lane, right?
Yeah, correct. The original one, the long
original
queue
one,
one.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the hardest thing for us to scale it up was there are many parts, including the machine. That one they already figured it out before that. That's good, right? They keep improving. But one part is the brother, third generation. He's been working there since like primary school, you know. And then the father is of course 40, 50 years there. And one thing in Canton is called sao sai, which when they take how much the gula melaka, how much sugar, how much the pandan, how much. All this is
agak.
It's sao sai. It's the hand gesture. It's like the moment they do that, it's that. You can't find another guy to do that.
Yeah.
How to scale that, right? So that one is feeling, right?
Yep.
Sao sai. You find a foreign worker, how to train the sao sai.
Yep.
So what happened was we worked with a consultant as well to just take 50 bowls. Just one ingredient, they just take 50.
Right.
And then the other ingredient just take 50. Then we find an average. So we measure it. Then means that with that same thing of the thing, means that any foreign worker who take the gula melaka who have this ml, it's actually his sao sai. Right? So in a sense, it still can be formalized. Right? So it's, most people say, cannot lie, it's all this, you know, how to train sao sai, right? So, it can formalize. So in that sense, that's why you ask me whether it can. I believe it can, right? Yep. So another example, this is a real case example. Another one is not a real case, but I always use it as a case because so happened my brother, a friend, he was a family business is a chicken poach farm, right? So my brother used to work there in his during his college, secondary school. So his break, he will go and work in the chicken farm. So And then his friend told him, because he's been there, your friend also grew up since young, my family business, right? So he said, when he hear the chicken, cock, cock, he know whether he's sick or not. Because he grew up, but you know, like in the farm, it's...
Can you formularize that?
Okay, good question. So that's why, all this I call it nuances.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
It's very small. In Mandarin, we call 微昧之处. It's very, very fine. All this take years to develop. It's sense, you know.
Yep.
So that's why I say when I go in to consult a client, I always say, I'm not here going to I'm not going to compete with your expertise and your nuances because you are in this industry for 30 years or 40 years. But I always tell my client, you can do what I cannot do. For example, the chicken sound or the sao sai, I cannot do. But I also can do what you cannot do, right? Like just now I teach them to break down in the 50 bowl and all. He never think of that formularization, right? So, but I got many this sort of example. Even the secret ingredient of a food cannot scale. So my coaches have them to put, we call the black box strategy. So he break into few manufacturer to do it, and then he is the one. So he can scale it with a secret ingredient. So they always weigh one, right? A formula.
Right.
So for the chicken, it's not a real case. But I said, if he engaged me as a consultant, I definitely cannot recognize the chicken sound, whether he's sick. But I can record all the healthy chicken sound and the sick chicken sound wave, and I can use AI to detect which is and I can put a detector there, right? The moment the AI capture the you know it's a chicken sick, right? So again, can it be formularized? Can. Right?
Can everything be formularized?
Yeah, I again in the section, I definitely feel that there are something cannot. But I think most of the thing can. Yeah, but the question is, should we formalize everything? We also don't need, right? So I always say, of course, we also say metrics, even we measure, I will believe everything is measurable, which is the metrics, right? So, but we only focus on metrics that matter.
Yep.
Just, for example, can we measure how many times this door open? Very easy, right?
Yep, can.
You put them, but does it matter? But if it's a retail, does it matter?
Yes.
Matters all.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, we just focus on metrics that matter and focus on the whatever needed to be formularized, we formalize that law. Then
So-
don't need one, don't need lah, right?
So let me try to understand. Like, if I'm a business and I go primarily by feel, how far have you seen businesses bring it by feel until they're almost like a breaking point or something where they haven't formularized anything?
Bring it by feel means, sorry?
No, okay, because you mentioned that the first stage of formularizing,
Yeah,
right,
correct.
is meant to transition like from feeling
Yep,
to formula, lah, right? But then, what can you give us an example of a business that you came across, right, where they were trying to scale and they were still going by feeling until the point they were like breaking already?
There are many actually. I can tell you, a lot of people ask me how long does it take to formularize business. It could be forever, you know. So it could be forever, not.
Well,
but of course,
business always changes as well, right?
yes, but it also can be formularized. But this is another wisdom. Like they say, there's anything that cannot be really formularized, we put in principle. We put in best practices so that it's a guideline.
SOP lah.
Yeah, SOP or guideline. For example,
Yep.
like in this case, things keep changing also, right? So we also ask them to define what change, what doesn't change, and what can be changed, what cannot be changed, right? Even as simple as again the franchise example, the F&B brand. So we define as the brand, we list down these are the 20 elements that you should have in a retail.
Yep.
It's good to have all.
Best
But if you
practices,
but if you go in, some malls say, you don't allow this one metal thing, you will drop, cannot. Every mall have different restriction. So we tell them, if you can go in with everything, that is really your brand. If you cannot, you can reduce these first 5. Then you go. If you cannot, one by one, then second 5. Then we have the last 5 things that non-negotiable.
Yep.
If you remove this, it's not your brand anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
As more as, again, a lot of things is art and science. Right? I say invest in both intersection, also art and science, right? So especially business and brand, this is a good example, right? One is art, one is a science, right?
Yep.
So I say, as more as people say, what do you mean by all these elements? Of course, all the way from signage to everything. Even, let's say for this particular cendol brand, is the newspaper article. And all the famous people had it there before.
Yeah.
So all this is a signal, when you go there, you see, all the famous people and all this article talking about them. I say this one is so important, you cannot miss that one.
It's part of the brand.
Yeah, but you go in, it just signal you that must be good, you need to say one, right?
Yep,
So all this, so that's why I say some business, they, I want to make a disclaimer. Some is they don't want to be formularized. Also can. For example, some business they design in such a way. For example, very fine dining restaurant, right? So they of course they have a certain formula, but it's really based on the chef, you know.
Yeah.
Like omakase, I want to cook whatever you want, you eat. You don't want, you don't eat lah, right?
Yeah.
So it's really and some really a husband and wife open a cafe. I just want to run happy, go lucky. I never plan to scale it anyway. So I like, I do, I don't like, I don't do lah. So those are okay. It's a choice, right?
Yep.
But what I want to say is that most of them are not like that. They just don't know how.
to scale.
That's why
Well,
they stuck. Yeah.
I'm just curious, right? Since you talk about the Penang cendol one, have you guys ever done a blind taste test versus the original and say something we get in the shopping mall? How close are we talking about?
I mean the franchise versus the original
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay, this one F&B is another interesting thing because taste okay, number one success driver is the taste lah, right?
Yep.
F&B don't. Okay, a lot of people confused about quality of food, and taste is different thing. I can use a very fresh salmon, but taste bad.
Yep.
Can we be right? So the taste is still the number one, and not just quality of food.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So but taste interestingly is also a lot in their mind. That's why you know red wine. Why people you smell the red wine before they drink? It's a part of the SOP, right? You see, you
Yeah.
smell, right? Because
Swallow
there
it,
are
yeah.
there are one particular smell, a taste that your tongue don't have that taste bud to get that taste one. Of course, I don't know. I'm also not an expert lah. This is all I learned it lah, right? So when you smell, you actually the taste register in your mind. Then when you drink, you can taste that smell.
Yeah.
But if you just drink that, you can taste that taste. But you just drink it like that, you cannot taste that taste because your taste bud don't have that taste one. That is only come from your smelling.
I mean, I think like
it's the
even
mind. Yeah.
professional chefs, they use the visual cues as part of the recipe also lah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
That
why I say
contributes
that?
to it,
Because
yeah.
even though you can taste exactly 100% the same, people will still say the original better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's their mind.
It's all in the mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give this one I have not tasted with the Penang cendol, but I got another friend who one shop only. It's very funny and it's very real lah. So it's the Tai Chow, right? It's a traditional Chinese restaurant lah. So the father was the chef for many years, 30, 40 years. Then the son took over, and the son also followed him since young one. So the son took over. So one time the old customer come lah, they've been there since young one lah, 20 years customer. So then the father was checking with them lor, then the son cooking lor, then come out, then he eat. He said,
Not the same.
he says, really, the father was there lah. He said, still different lah. He said, still different. Miss the taste lah. Then he said, okay, never mind. Then the father said, it's okay, this one, keep back. Then the father go into the kitchen, and then he asked the son cook again. He stand there only. And then come out, serve. This is the taste.
Even though it's the same part, the same son cooking.
Yeah, actually the father didn't cook at all. He just go in there and see him cook.
Yeah.
So then you know, it's the mind. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's the-
Sometimes lah.
So yeah,
Sometimes lah, yeah.
many times I think.
But
because
things like, okay, so like formularizing, right? Something like cendol, easy to formularize because the ingredients
yeah.
are all set,
So
right?
that's why you imagine go to Tendo, it's same what, it's same muga maka,
Yeah.
same thing. Of course there are still nuances ice is
Yeah.
another challenge because
Yeah.
different supplier of ice,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
but the grade is very high similarity one
Right, right,
unless of course people churi and then put enough.
But things like
ingredient.
wok hei very hard to formularize.
That's
already,
right. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why one of my friend who own 400-500 restaurant.
Yeah.
So he only buy American franchise because and he only go with those without chef
Yeah.
because
More
those
replicable.
are
Can formularize.
That's why he don't buy Eastern one because he said
Interesting.
it's very hard to duplicate the wok hei. However, now also can already because now the chef already have this technology, but he didn't invest lah. It's the robotic lah.
Oh yes, I've seen those.
So robotic wok. So it's not human but robotic. To put the thing is robot lah. Or robot hand robot thing lah. So robot will do the same action lah. So exactly repeatable. So the wok hei is all
Wow.
repeatable. So now even Eastern food is franchisable. It's franchise ready because the
Right.
wok hei is replicable already.
Yep,
I can
yep.
actually I even work with one Singapore company before. They are actually vending machine food company. So there are those like kway teow all this but it's a vending machine. But you eat wok hei one. You know why? It's an artificial taste. So wok hei it's not just hei ma, it's a taste ma, right?
Yep,
It's a smoking smell, whatever ma. So they instill that smell inside. So you eat the wok hei in the vending machine also.
Right.
So even vodka can be
So
formularized.
it's like liquid smoke.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
even
which they
vodka
have,
can
like,
be
yeah.
formularized. So
Right,
that's why
right.
you ask me, I felt can be lah. I cannot, because I'm nothing extreme. I don't say 100% everything can. I think most of the thing can. And can everything, I think it's also not a right, the question again, I will change the question, should we formalize everything? We also shouldn't, right? We
Yeah.
just formalize what matters.
Yep. And what is scalable, basically.
Yeah, what matters, lah.
Basically,
What matters,
the basic of it is what you're saying is that if you don't formalize it, you can't scale it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sorry, I just add on to this skill interestingly, but because this is really the pain point of entrepreneur, just go for F&B. If I do okay, one thing is very scalable,
Yep.
one is totally not scalable. But you see, there's also the problem, people keep trying to do scalable thing. The more scalable means that there's more
Soulless.
commercialized and all more standardized.
Yep,
Means
yep,
it's
yep.
not unique. Another word.
Yep.
Then, when you scale, also no value.
Yep.
If you're so not
Limited-
scalable, so
limited.
fine, you also totally cannot scale. So
Yeah.
that is the challenge. Actually, that's why if it's so easy, everyone is successful already.
Yep.
That's why the statistic, right? Out of 10 startup, 9 will die within 18 months. Because if you do something not scalable, then okay, cannot scale. So scalable, then no USP, no
Yep.
uniqueness.
Yep.
So it's always the intersection. That's why in the very famous incubator, Y Combinator, right, in the US, one of the mentor, he always said, very contradict because he say he's supposed to help people to scale one, but I say start with something not scalable. Start with something not scalable. Because I think through the season, everyone wants to think something is scalable.
Yeah.
So everything becomes so generic, not unique.
We have like 10 bubble tea outlets everywhere.
So he says start with
Yeah.
something not scalable. That means that you will make it very unique, very special.
Yep.
Then only find a way
To make it
to
scalable.
scale it, right? Or they are give and take. Sure, something cannot scale already one, but you still find that essence of uniqueness that people want and try to scale that few things. Yeah.
Sorry, Joescher, you brought a really interesting point just now. You said like out of 10 startups, 9 will die, right? So, I mean, you guys have a lot of startups with you guys.
Actually, no, we don't. That's why to confess, we don't deal with startup because 10 of them 9 would. But don't get me wrong, I respect startup, and they are the future. But startup have their startup community, right? So they will, and I leave it to them. Of course, I really also want to help startup. That's why in my previous company we have a startup. A book for startup, so they read the book and then they have an online program for a startup and let them grow. But I only deal with company more than our runway is very long. Anyway,
Yeah.
from 1 million revenue and above,
Yep.
we can start to coach them one-on-one. And 1 million revenue, but this is for our one-to-one coaching. But one with the different size, 1 million revenue, 10, 100 million also got. But our sweet spot is 10 to 100 million. That is our strength.
Right.
But for IPO ready, it's different. It's not revenue only, it's also the profit. So we
Okay.
look at certain 1 million PAT above, we start to work with them. So startup, they're too volatile, right? There are too many things to happen. So we actually don't deal with startup, but of course we know a lot of them.
How would you differentiate between a company that has 1 to 5 million in revenue as a startup or not a startup?
Okay, good question. So the definition also very, every country or every even VC also they define a little bit differently. But of course, seed and startup is very easy. Seed, the moment you got first paying customer, you're
Not
already
seed
a startup.
already, yeah.
You are the startup already, right?
Yeah.
So, but of course, for different measurement like those tag, if they're subscription or member, so but you have first customer, the paying customer, then you are startup. That is
Yep.
how usually they define. But startup can be 10 million still startup one more. Like US, the market is so big, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
for
correct.
us, we just define, I just use 1 million revenue, ringgit. And 1 million is actually not big, but they're also not small. But what does it tell me is that the market has accepted your product.
Right.
That is what I want to know only. Then we can help you to grow and scale.
Yep.
But if still haven't, and in a startup language, it's product market fit. So they must first find their fit first. If they cannot have a product market fit, it's not that we cannot help, but I think our expertise will be better to help companies scale from 10 to 100 million.
Yep.
That's another expertise. Because we break down, right? 0 to 1 is start. 1 to 10 is grow. 10 to 100 is scale. 100 to 1B is super scale. 1B to 10B and beyond is
It's
ultra scale.
globalization
Right?
and all
Yeah,
those
all
other
that.
things
So
he talks about, yeah.
our strength is really helping them. I also have clients from, but I mean, grateful that because I'm in 20 years in the industry, right? So I've climbed all the way from start, grow, scale, super scale, ultra scale. I've climbed now going to the 10B size, right? Now 5B and going up. So, but I know our strength, but I'm the only one who can do that. But in terms of generally, all our coach, we're 100 over coaches, they can handle 10 to 100 million. That is in terms of the mindset, skill set, tool set, we are best at that. So that's why startup, there is a lot of startup experts and let the startup experts handle them.
So what's the difference in mindset between your style of scaling and a startup style of scaling?
Okay, so of course you take my sharing with a pinch of salt so I could be wrong also.
Okay.
Right? Sorry. Okay. So because I think a lot of startup, because one of my definition when I hire when we get a client is that first is coachable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Willing to learn.
Okay, good question. Very good.
Coachable.
And teachable.
Yeah.
It's different.
Okay.
That's why most of the startup is actually teachable, but they are not coachable. Okay, I could be wrong. I might offend a lot of startup community. I could be wrong only. I think maybe those I met. So, but I think the difference, even SME is same. I think they think that they are very coachable, but they maybe not. Because the difference between teachable and coachable is this. Teachable is willing to learn. And most entrepreneurs are willing to learn. Most startups are willing to learn. Coachable is willing to change.
Okay.
So a lot of entrepreneurs, they hire a coach and then they don't change one.
Yeah.
They learn, I like to learn. They thought it's like learning courses only.
But
But
if you don't put it into action, there's no point.
yeah, they're willing
Commitment,
to change. Yeah, commitment.
Yeah.
So just imagine you hire a tennis coach or pickleball coach, right?
Yeah.
And then you just listen, you learn, but you don't change
Yeah.
your style. Then no point, right?
Or you don't even play.
Yeah, so but for startup, many of them, they start because there are a few categories. A lot of them, I don't want to be my own boss. There's one big category of startup. And these type of people, they are, of course it takes journey, right? When they first started, they're still very hot. It's because I don't want to listen to my boss, that's why I start. Why should I listen to you? I have my way, right? I want to do something. So it's very hard to talk to them already. And guess what? They could be right. So then, let them try. Just that 90% of the chance is fail only, but you let them try, right? So this group of people is very hard to talk to. And even those who have a very specific problem to solve, I have this thing of... So a lot of them have a certain mindset already. It's very hard to change them, but it's the journey. I always say, again, too extreme. I think all startup will first start with, I know what to do. I have all the answer. Then they bang enough wall. And they'll go to the other extreme. I don't have all answer. It's also the other extreme.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Until they find an intersection.
Yeah.
So just like when I engage consultant, I'm actually very worried when I work with first-time engaged consultant client also. Why? Because many of them is not our client one, the smaller, because they don't believe in consultant one. They say you con and install, right? So because they think they know all the answer, why should I hire a consultant? They will engage, but they will come to a point that, wow, I realize everything on consultant. Because I realize I don't know anything. But they will come to a point where they think that, again, I know what you don't know, but you know what I don't know.
Yeah.
I can do what you cannot do. You can do what I cannot do. Together we can do great things.
Yeah.
This is the perfect philosophy of a consultant and client engagement, or even coaches and client engagement. So when they are at this point of they're at the stage that I know everything, how can I work with what? And then they go to the other extreme, everything I depend on the consultant. Also die one, because consultant don't know anything. Then eventually you also bang wall. Then after both extremes, they will come to a point that, okay, I know what I don't know, but I also know, so we can actually complement each other.
Would I be right in assuming that most of the people who contact you at this stage have made a fair amount of their own mistakes already?
I agree. Yeah.
What kind of mistakes would those be?
What's the most common mistake
Yeah.
that you see most entrepreneurs
Like the same
make?
story
Okay.
told again and again and again.
So I will go
Yeah.
from a very high view, like Eagles view. Like everything, this is one of our philosophy. Like when I look at a business, we look at the Eagles view, with the 10,000 square feet view, and look at the whole direction.
Sure.
And we have Lions view, the 10 feet, the action, the campaign, project. And we have the Ants view, which is the SOP, fine detail. I mean, all three are important, right? But I'm speaking from an Eagles view. Of course, you break down, there's many more details.
nuances,
So look at a very high level. After 20 years, I think the only three reasons why a company fail. right? Again, a very high perspective. I say number one, they have no strategy.
No strategy. Okay.
No strategy. Most of the entrepreneur, but again, best of both worlds. This is also their strength because they're opportunistic, right?
Yeah.
So most of the entrepreneur don't have a strategy. They started because of.
But
So I say the ego is that most of them have no strategy because it's opportunistic. Right? They found an opportunity, then they
Yeah.
jump in.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
if
yeah,
they're again, if they're too strategic, also they won't start a business.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because they calculate all the risks, they also won't start.
Yeah.
Analysis paralysis.
Correct. So
Yeah.
that's why I say I cannot say it's wrong. Just that answer back to the question, that's the most common mistake also, right? So I always say that whatever strength, when you go extreme, become weakness. Their strength is they are opportunistic. When we are too over, it becomes a weakness.
No
Even
strategy,
strategic is a strength. Over strategic is also a weakness, right?
Right.
Anything. I always say about water, is it good? Good. You try to drink 10 liters a day.
So I'm just trying to understand. To me, it seems like the difference between a strategy and a reaction is the time frame that you're looking at. Right? A reaction is something that, oh, this is happening, I need to do something now. Whereas a strategy is, oh, this is happening, what's my plan for the next whatever time frame, right?
Yes and no. Time frame is not the only thing because if there's a right strategy, you can decide immediately also, right? So
right.
it's not the time frame. Of course, the auto strategies usually look at 10 years and all that. Not only the time. A strategy to me is a blueprint,
Okay.
right? It's like a ways.
Yeah.
If you want to go from A to B, and then there's a most effective route lah.
Yeah.
So do you see the picture of that? So many people just see some milestone. So that's why you go to one place and then they only decide the next place, then the next place. So
Yeah.
do they see a big picture of where I am right now,
Yeah.
where I want to be, how I'm not going to get there? So in fact, when you ask people what's your strategy, most of them will tell you my goal, my dream, why I started. All this is correct. It's part of the element of a strategy, but there's not a full picture. But what is the strategy? If you can answer me, is I say, what's your strategy? You say, oh, I'm here, I want to go to here, and this is how I want to get there.
Yeah.
That itself is a strategy. Whether
Right.
it's a good or bad strategy, I don't know, but at least it's a strategy. But I can tell you, out of 10, 9 will not answer you like that because they only see certain parts. So
Yeah.
they don't have a strategy. A strategy is when you can tell me in simple, oh, this is where I want to be, but this is where I am right now.
Yep.
And this is what I plan to get there with what. So from A to B with what. Short, one line you can tell me a strategy, but whether good or bad we decide later.
Yep.
But do you have a strategy or not?
But do you think strategy is also about prioritizing? So once you have a strategy,
Of course, because let's say you will just use waste as a very clear example. First, you must know where you want to go, right? You cannot
Yeah.
click here and waste, say, I'm hungry. Then you don't know where to bring you, right? I want to eat.
Yeah.
You need to key in exactly where you want to go. Then he must detect where you are. If he cannot find where you are, just like, for example, I very sure. So now, let's say, Alvin, I say, I've never come to EquitiesTracker before, and you are very familiar with this area, right? So I call you, I say, Alvin, I want to come, but I don't know how to come to your place, or where is it? What you will ask me? I said, I want to come to your place.
I'll send you a location.
No, but what you will ask me, let's say
Where
you
are
want
you
to
coming
get,
from?
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you, right?
Yeah.
But what if I tell you, I don't know, I see got car, got human, or got tree. No matter how good you are in your area, you cannot lead me here. So the
Yeah.
person must also know where they are. When I say where they are, including their resources, means that their strength, their weakness, their capacity, their competency, their resources, everything. You cannot, if I know, I can find whatever way to reach you there, right? The how. Let's say I can tell, oh, actually, I'm in Dubai. Of course, you won't tell me to drive here, right? I say, okay, never mind, you go Emirates, you buy a ticket now, you fly to the airport. So
Yeah.
you still can find me a route.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you don't know, if you think that I'm in SS2, but actually I'm in Dubai,
Yeah.
it's just not realistic, right?
So speaking about where these businesses are, I mean the podcast is meant to talk about like survival stories,
Yeah.
right? So I wanted to ask do businesses come up to you when they're already profitable, or are there businesses that come up to you when they're already in a bad state?
Good question. Actually, I prefer clients who are in a good state, and I bring them to
I'm
a
sure.
better state.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there are also most of the client is at the bad state, right? I mean, That's why
Right.
SME are challenging. So I call it a turnaround situation.
Okay.
We have a very clear turnaround roadmap, and we also equip our coach. Every of our coach, we equip them and certify them with a turnaround plan. But we don't tell them don't promote this.
Be-
Don't promote.
Before we get into the detail of the turnaround, is there a particular example that you can think of a client that you've successfully turned around from a very bad state to a good state?
Actually, we have many
Yeah.
because SME a lot of turnaround situation.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I don't want to promote that because it's very challenging to turn around a company. I
Yep.
think, of course, Alvin, you analyze stock, you know, right? When the company coming down, it's very hard to have a turnaround curve, right?
Most companies actually, if they're publicly listed, I think that statistically, more will fail than succeed.
Yeah.
Then
that
turn around.
curve.
Yeah, probably 9 out of 10 will not turn around.
So
9 out of 10 companies that are on a downward curve will not.
Will not turn around.
yeah, because so we have a formula, right, to help them to turn around, but it requires 10 times of our effort and time. So, and to be fair, we also not that we don't want to help them, right?
Yeah.
But I just say, focus on those who are good, who want to be better, and then with your extra energy, you can do all this on your CSR, or even free for them, don't mind, or on success basis. After you turn around, you give me something. If not, it's okay. So, but if you suck all your energy to help company like that, then, but there are also turnaround specialists in the market who specialize on that, and then they take a big cut. They take your
Yeah.
equity, right? Those are worth it for them. But I think we are not. But whether we like it or not, we are actually a turnaround specialist because there are some sort require some turnaround in some place, right? For SME, when they are 10 to 100 million or few million in their one of their area out of 10 pillar, 50 areas, sure, there are
Yep.
some part require some turnaround.
I mean, so for public listed companies, for example, turnaround companies, normally we find they fail if they continue to focus on that core business that is no longer working. Right. So, for example, very clear. I think if you look at companies, normally they don't start off at turnaround. They start off at the top, then they get stuck, and then they start going into failing, and then potentially turn around. Turnaround is always a question mark, right? So when you talk about core business, if you were in print media 30 years ago, you were at your prime. If you're still in print media today, the turnaround is question mark lah.
Yeah.
Right? And if they continue down that path, how do you see a turnaround out from
The
that-
star.
the you know, example, right? As
Yeah.
a base, it's
Yeah.
hard, right? So it's a complete pivot. It has to be almost a complete pivot, right?
Actually, it's like the sunset and sunrise, right? The
Yeah.
sunsetting, how do you make it sunrise again? If you want to pick one particular, there's many examples. One particular, so maybe a smaller business, then maybe many more can relate. It's a very small business. So it's also one of my coach, my CEO right now, his first few clients. Actually, our minimum revenue is 1 million, but this one is like only few 100,000. But I say, oh, this guy very hungry. Okay, I say, it's up to you. And then I set a criteria not to discriminate the rest. It's just easier for you to handle only. But
Yeah.
if you have a conviction, you want to help this guy, or go ahead. So they are in renovation business, right? Renovate your house and all that. So their revenue is always few 100,000, and some, many times cannot collect money
Per month or per year?
per year.
Few 100,000 per year?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
give me the number, man. Sounds cheaper than my contractor.
No, but those small renovator, so like 10, 20,000 time.
Yeah,
So it's just but there's so many competitors, right? So
Yep.
so competitive. So so it's always at the struggle of like not having meeting end meets and all that lah, struggling lah. So the turnaround came when another of my client, right? He getting into solar industry, and then he is looking for not enough worker to install the.
Also, it's like business matching almost lah.
Almost like that. It's not enough installer to install the solar.
Yeah.
So he told them, "Can you do it for me?" Then at first he also said, "Don't want lah. You need to climb so high." And then So, but then the coach tell him that all is the common party friends, right? So he said, "You should, because solar is rising."
Yeah.
So your one is sunsetting.
Yeah.
So you need to catch on the train that is going to the right direction. Even you stay in the train, you also
Yeah,
move
yeah.
very fast, right? If you are going downhill, you're so hard to run it up.
Correct.
You also keep going down, right? So you go to the uptrend business, then you say, okay, now you start to do. Boom, now he's like few million revenue,
Yeah.
over million profit already in just a short few years, There is a turnaround, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's got 50 workers, 70 workers. Last time it's always even end meets also cannot meet. Now it's like doing well. Yeah. So there's one small SME example turnaround. Of course, there are bigger example but then
So
it's relevant.
I mean, like, because I do have another company that's around that range, 1 to 2 million revenue and everything like that. And sometimes it gets very difficult to even have the space to turn something around because you are so concerned about your cash flow, your firefighting, and all that kind of thing that you do at that small size, lah. You know, when you mentioned that companies are around the 1 to 2 million range, one, right? There's always a lack of resources, you know. So
Yeah.
how would you advise a company to create that kind of space
Okay.
to have this kind of ability to change it around?
Okay, so of course, this is not a turnaround podcast, lah, but I can give you a
course.
direction that usually what we do. Of course, we break down in, again, Eagle's view, Lion's view, Ant's view, right? So I'll give you an Eagle's view, but Eagle's view is just a 3-step. Lion's view, there's a 7-stage. Then the Ant's view, there's multiple things to do, action.
Yeah.
So of course, all this, our coach is equipped, but I always tell them, don't promote this, please. If not, you attract all the turnaround client come in. So I always give this metaphor. I say, imagine your house. You have a beautiful landed property, and it's in a nice, like a bit outskirt, right, with forest and all that. And behind it, there's a beautiful river just behind your house. And this house, under the condition you cannot sell, you cannot move, because it's your grandfather, leave it to you, and then you love it. And the river is so clean, and you can even drink the water from the river, you know. Of course, slowly you stay there over the months, years. Then you start, got one rubbish there. Then slowly 2, 3, and one day you wake up, it's just
Full of rubbish.
full of rubbish. And now, with the condition you cannot move and sell, I give you 3 steps. You only have 3 steps. What would you do? Throw idea, no right or wrong. But again, a very high level step. What would you do with these 3 steps? You only have 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. What would you do?
Find the source of the rubbish.
Okay, step 1. Step 2.
Step 2.
So you found the source now, step 2.
Step 2, stop the rubbish.
Okay, stop the race. Step 3.
There is no step 3 for me. I mean,
So you stop the rubbish still there, what?
Stop the rubbish. Oh, clean up the rubbish, lah.
Okay, so you stop first. You find, stop. If I use one word, find, stop, clean.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Almost there, 80-70% already.
I would stop the river flow first.
Stop.
Stop the river flow, clean out the rubbish,
Ah.
and then
And then fine.
unstop the river again.
Yeah. Okay, so it's very similar. It's 70-80% there. So if I use one word, if I use one word, it's stop, clean, new. Okay, first, of course, fine is correct, but I don't use I want to even include it, because I only got 3 steps, right? I will stop the pollution.
Yeah.
That include finding, right?
Yeah.
Stop. So I saved 1 step already. So stop the pollution. Second, clean. Then new. New as in new system, the cleaning or filtering or new policy, a new guard, whatever new lah. Stop, clean, new is my Eagle's view. So I say, whatever turn around, this is the 3 steps. Of course, I can break down more detail, but first you stop. Where is the leaking time, leaking money? What is not working? Stop the bleeding first. The bleeding could be not only money, time also, because resources, right? Stop. So the resource actually it's not lack of resources. Just like that, Jeremy always loves to say this, right? A lot of people. One of our resident mentor is focused on finance and structure. So a lot of people. He was the ex-CFO of GE. He said a lot of people find because they have a cash flow issue. So he said you don't have a cash flow issue. You have a prioritization issue, right? So because actually it's not a resources problem. Everyone has a similar resources with their size. So they need to stop what is not working, right? Time and money also. Then you have extra already, what? Then only you clean. Clean as in what is the new model? What is the new way of doing things? What is the ideal thing that you want to do? And then only pump in new resources, new capital, new team, new business model. So you see, a lot of people debate one. And when I say this, it applies to everything, including, for example, a listed call. We have this, suddenly our culture become toxic, right? Don't know why suddenly people start to talk bad about the company. So what did they do? They usually hire new HR. Right? New people, hiring new guy, a very positive one. It's the same thing. Stop, clean, new, right? They start from new
the
first.
new first,
Same.
yeah.
When the company is not doing well, what they do? Find new capital, new investor.
Yeah.
Also die because wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can give you one real case. One of my clients last time, he keeps saying, he opened few out when the first few outlets is very profitable. Then 10, 20 onwards, all start losing money. Then he said, I need more capital. I said, actually no. The time, of course, I'm also new. I think I've only like few years in the industry, but I don't know how to explain to him. So then until one day I already I said, okay, I take out my checkbook, but of course fake one. I know I said it's not real Just imagine how much you need. He said, 10 million. Okay, I write 10 million. I didn't sign I'm going to do a fake one. I said, now imagine it's real. Tell me what will you do now? I open more outlet. Then it's okay. You know doesn't work, right? What else? I will do. Actually, whatever you say, it just doesn't work. The 10 million just extend a bit more only.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It's not new. He don't need a new capital. So first stop
Yeah.
what doesn't work. Stop first. Then only find out your new SOP or whatever. Then only clean up first. Then only you put in the new. So even toxic culture, not hiring new HR. Stop. Find who is the
Yeah.
one who start this. I think it happened in a real company before.
Yeah.
He just really he wanted. Oh, keep hiring new people doesn't work. Then only found out the source come from his PA.
Right.
And because the PA was there for so long, he have some certain power. And of course, no one want to start no one want to be the politic one. Just that accidentally, when they start to do some favorism, this and that, then it becomes so, you need to remove the PA. Then things, only they clean up. Okay, from now on, I'm not allowing this to happen. Then only bring in the new
Yeah.
people. So even the toxic culture, same company, not doing well. Stop first.
Yeah.
Where is the thing that's not working? Then only clean up a new model.
Stop
but then
the
only
bleeding
new.
first,
Yeah, stop, clean new.
Source
This is
of
our
the-
secret sauce.
source of it,
So, but of course, breakdown, there are more detail, but everything is the same. Every turnaround is the same. Stop, clean new. Even we go to a company that's doing well, but there are also certain parts they're not doing well, right?
Yep.
We also do the same thing. Stop first.
Yep.
Whatever doesn't work, you stop and then clean and then new. Yeah. Even in relationship. I also do a marriage counseling, but not my profession. It's my church. I'm
What
serving
is it that
only.
you don't do?
Oh, right,
So,
right, right.
but of course, I mean, I'm not certified, so don't come to me. It's only like a pastor too busy, then pass some couple to me to talk to them.
So same thing from turnaround or can be good to great. Also,
yeah, same. No, but so those single also, right? Before, of course, there's marriage, and then there's single to getting married also. I mean, to finding a right partner. I also say, a lot of people relationship after relationship, they don't know. And then you keep failing, you know why? I say, stop first. Why are you going relationship after relationship? Stop. What is not working? Something must be wrong with you also, right? So don't keep saying about this people bad, that people bad, this guy bad, this girl bad. Stop and look at what doesn't work, right? Then you clean it up. Then only you find a new partner, right? Many times if they go through that process, they will eventually find the right one, right? But if you keep going after another, same even marriage argument, then keep repeating the same argue and all that, then you say stop. Right? Stop. Not stop the marriage. Just stop this argument and really look at what doesn't work. Right? Is it the value? Is it the something that is not aligned? Then you align first. Just share. Right? You say finding a new house. Oh, that one can be never-ending argument. Right? So I said stop. Find a criteria.
Yep.
What is your criteria? Oh, then we find out that for the husband, community comes first. Then only to whether the house is nice or not. Then only the price. But for the wife, it's the house first.
Yeah.
Then price, then only, because their criteria is not aligned. Then we say, okay, can we align the criteria first, right? So, and then I ask the husband, why is it important to you? Say, if my house very nice, but then it's a very ulu place, and then all this community around us is all like very bad community, I don't want. Then my wife said, it actually makes sense also, right? Then maybe choose a nice community, maybe Bangsa or Desa Park, choose a nice community first, then only we find a house.
Yep.
So, you see, it's just the alignment of value, but if they continue to argue about which house, never end one, right?
Correct.
Stop, right? Let's stop first what doesn't work, or there's no criteria, let's set the criteria. So I go back to turnaround business also to answer your question is, stop first. Whatever doesn't work, resources, even business models, some people just never stop. They keep going after one another. And very common, SME, particular services company, product also got, but service is most common one. They will keep serving client that is not profitable. And they also, first they don't know. Even after they find out, it's also very hard for them to stop. Because they say, this client so good, become my close friend. I say, I pay you so little, get so much. I also want to be a good friend. Stop lah. I say, if they are your good friend, they won't make you lose money, right? If they are good friend, they will give you some profit, right? So stop. So same, actually it happened to me, I got one client that I was used to charge few thousand retainer when I first started. But as I grow my headcount also grow, and then my one designer salary also like 5,000-6,000 already, and then some 10,000, 15,000. So I'm running at a loss serving this client, but he also become my friend, So one day I asked him, I say I want to raise to 10,000. I already charging people 28,000, but I say, can we raise to 10,000? At least I don't lose money,
Yep.
But he's not willing to, Then I said we can be friends, but we cannot be client anymore.
fair.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and that time then I also introduced some smaller agency, foreigner company, that if for my ex-staff, they start the company. So I know their overhead is still not high, so they still can charge profit at that
Yep.
size.
Yep.
So I introduced, I hand over everything. When I left, I was like tearing also, because it's my good friend already. But this is business also, we can still be friends, but you cannot be a client. If you're not willing to let me earn a profit, or at least not losing money, then we just be friends.
So I'm actually curious about something, because we spoke a little bit off camera just now about how you had a recent corporate game or something, and that you chose the team name of Never Lose Before. Which is at odds with what we're hearing from you sometimes, because the kind of business strategy advice that you give, it resonates really well. It resonates of someone who has seen failure before and has learned from it, and yet you don't seem to have lost before. So where have you learned all these things that you're actually telling us about in terms of the strategies?
Okay, so I think your question is also very powerful, because especially in consulting,
Yep.
now coaching is still okay, like you don't charge so much, right? But consulting, we are charging 1 to 3 million fees one. So sure, the client will ask you, what if you fail?
Yep.
Right? What if you
Yep.
fail? Our answer is always never lose before, never fail before. No, the truth is, because if the chances of success is not high, we will not take on the client. We also tell them what you should do first,
Right.
then only. But is there any client after that they fail? They are also, right? But in that period of time, no lah, right? It's the successful, because so they say to be fair is that if the chances of failure is high, we also don't take the client. So we also choose the client very well.
Right.
So, but the question is, where do we learn
Get
from
these learnings,
this?
yeah.
So we meet a lot of entrepreneurs. We see a lot of entrepreneurs, and of course, when their chances is higher to fail, that's why I say I give them direction, right? But I don't personally involve in that.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
they always come to, but I don't engage them as my client. But I always feel free, you can come and ask me, but I'm not engaging with them. But I give you, if you say numbers, this Saturday is my book launch, right? It's my second book called 10X
Yes,
Strategy
I'll be
Wheel.
there.
The Pan Pillar 50 areas, right? And you know that we have done, of course people do survey online research, right? But our research is actually, we call it business health check. You do your body health check, right? But how often you do a business health check? So we actually offer a business health check for our coaches to the client, just to add value to them. They may not engage it yet. Only after the health check with the report, they think, hey, I need help, then we help them. But that is also a research for us to know what is the challenge of the client facing, because we go through the 10 pillars, right? We don't go to the 50 areas. The 50 areas is the business audit, is when they engage the coach, then we go deep to understand all these 50 pillars. But we have a good understanding of the overall and what is their biggest challenge.
This is your basic health check lah, your zai one lah, basically just cholesterol and all that lah.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
cancer
the 10,
markers
correct.
or anything
Cancer
lah.
marker is the deep
Yeah,
already.
yeah, that one you have to pay more lah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the 10 pillar, but that gives us a very good perspective of what is the biggest challenge of the client. And we have done 4,400 of that.
Right.
Wow.
And it's one-to-one, face-to-face. It's not research, call. It's all one-to-one, face-to-face. Not through me alone, 100 over coaches. I think over the years, in and out, 200 coaches, and then in all 10 different countries. So we have a very good sense of where and why the failure is it. And of course, so that is the basis. It's not just by guessing, right? It's all also data-driven. They have met, and it's real, people cry in the business audit, and or the business health check, and people will thank us, even they don't engage us, and we don't accept as a client, but we give this audit as a gift. That's why I say business health check short form is BHC, right? So I say, and this is our core, and they don't have client, we will not ask them to leave the coach. But if they don't do business health check, we'll ask them to leave. But you must understand that our coaches are all entrepreneurs. They only take 1 day a week away to do this. It's like a platform, right?
Right.
So, but to me, I tell them BHC not just stand for business health check. It also stand for blessing, helping, and caring. So I said, you do this is to bless them. They may not be your client, but it's okay. That's why we don't do marketing outside. We don't do cold leads. All this business health check, I say when you join, because they're entrepreneurs as well, right? You sure got entrepreneur friend.
Yeah.
I say you just put 100 entrepreneur in a list, a broadcast list. This is your value pool, right?
Yeah.
You in your whole life, one by one, you just go and do business health check for them. They may become your client, they may not, but it's okay. Just bless them, right? So, and a lot of them also have their own business, but this is not like their main thing. So, And that's where we gather all the success, failures, and they come and discuss right, what to do. And we also help, I can tell you, those failures usually come from our CSR. We will do a lot of suggestion. We're going to call it advice. Advice is legal bound, right? If you pay me 1 million, I give you advice. You don't pay me, I give you suggestion. So suggestion is not legal bound. So actually, we help a lot, even have a lot of platforms. I think we counted 4 of entrepreneurs or 4 good friends. We got 50 over platforms, but only those like maybe our own company is mainly from profit, but we have a lot of non-profit and not for-profit. What's different? Non-profit is non-profit. Not for-profit means that we charge a fee, but we don't take any profit one. We minus all the costs, we donate out. So we actually a lot of these are platform one. So that is where we actually learn all the mistakes and also help people. And that's why I also tell my coaches, if you decided to be a business coach or strategy coach, it's a 24/7 thing. It's not just like or once a day, but you wear the hat. Means that you go back to your office, your own company, you also a chief coach, right? You also coach your staff, right? When you go out, you also see. So I said, if you just wait for the coaching assignment to do the actual coaching, you will be a lousy person. You'll be a lousy coach. Just like we like to use martial art as an example, right? So I say I always love this quote. It's also our anchor quote for our business coaching is from Bruce Lee, right? My grandfather. No, just kidding. Okay, so I like this quote. He said, I don't fear of a man who knows 10,000 type of kicks, but I'm afraid of a man who knows one kick but practice 10,000 times. So it's a mastery of the work. So that's why no matter what, even last time when I run a branding firm, I hire a designer, right? And if they are only waiting for the client assignment, then only they do. They usually are lousy designer. What are the great designer do? Everywhere they go to a chasat, they see a brochure so ugly, they would think if I were to redesign it, how would it look like? Some really sketch it out. Some is in their mind.
Right.
But they keep practicing everywhere they go. They see this. If I were to do it, how would I do it? So they keep practicing. So when the actual come, and not only that, they also do CSR, like help the uncle to redesign his stuff and all. So they keep practicing the craft. So when they actual design, they are very good. But if they only do during, then there's only like one. Compared to those like day-to-day mastery one, they are probably 1% versus 99%, right? So for coach, it's the same. Even as a consultant, if I only wait for 1 year, last time consultant even less, right? 1 year only work with 3 client project. So I say, but every time when I pass by a retail shop, I say, if they will look for me as a consultant, what would I do? Then I looked at the failing mall. If they look for me, what would I do? So actually, I keep rehearsing and practicing in my mind every time all these solutions. So. But when I come to an actual client, I've already practiced many times. So any craft is the same, right? Let's investment stock. If they're just actual investment, sure lousy investor lah, right? If they have to look at all the stock, evaluate if I were to be in, luckily I didn't put in, if I put in die, right? So they keep evaluating and rehearsing and practicing, then they become good. So I think a long way to answer is that we have many chances to practice, not only in my mind, but also in the other platform that we help all these entrepreneurs. And then we have a lot of platforms like Science Valley, we have this Big and Valley, we help all the entrepreneurs. So we have so many chances to help a lot of entrepreneurs. And interestingly, a lot of our client is come from there one. So they actually filter through already, and then one day they make it, they will look for us. A real example of Saturday you will meet this person. They just announced IPO recently, right? October 22nd is the gong day, 28th of 26 is 28th is their prospectus. This is a typical example. He was a startup, not my client, right? He was only one-man show doing ventilation. So, but he's in my dart team. So my dart team is also another platform for me to, I just play dart and then we drink, we chat. So, but a lot of them are entrepreneurs. So they also want to come around me to learn, right? This one don't need to pay consulting fee, right? So even now I'm a paintball team. So they all come and learn. Actually don't want to play. None of them like to play that one, but they just, of course, over the time they also enjoy it, but they also learn, drink, play. So then, in the conversation, he said he wants to join, he wants to start his company, another division. Then we chat, I give him some direction. So I said, strategy is very important, like strategy, right? So then I said, then of course he go into it. I mean, cut the long story short, so he grew from 0 to 100 million in 5 years. Then more than 100 people now, and going for listing already.
0 to 100 million in 5 years.
Yeah, and now they are going for listing, public listing. So IPO ready, from franchise ready, not ready, all the way to IPO ready is 5 years time. So this example, and
that's an extraordinary story, right?
Of course, but there are many like that. Actually, there are
Right.
many like that, but not exactly like 0 to 100 million, but there are also a lot of stories like that,
Sure.
just a different angle. But the actual engagement that he paid me is only 2 years back.
Yep.
But I have been adding value everywhere, not me, even our coach. So I say you just do business, help to add value to people, just continue helping them. So after 3 years, they grew until like 70, 80 million. At the time I say, hey, can I like officially engage you?
Yep.
And now I got the money, I can pay you. Okay, can, great, welcome. So that's why sometimes our fee is even higher or whatever. They're willing to pay because we don't help them now. We
Yeah.
already seeded them since they are starting.
Correct.
Right? So and they see we got so many other platforms to bless other entrepreneurs. So even they pay us more. They are willing because they know that we use this money to also help other entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right? So like if other platform, all this like you charge 200 ringgit or 500 ringgit for 6-month program lah. All this like really helping entrepreneur one lah. Then we got a lot of other things to really helping couples lah and this and that. So they don't mind to pay us lah. Right?
So you've talked a lot about like I think strategy in terms of like business mindsets and stuff like that, right? But we also mentioned something I think again off camera just now about like some entrepreneurs not even looking at their balance sheets properly. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more about those kind of pitfalls of entrepreneurship as well.
Okay, I think most of entrepreneurs, unless they are finance background lah, but
Yeah.
most of them are not, right? Because finance people know how to count well, they don't start business, right?
Yeah,
They
fair
join
enough.
someone, right?
Yeah.
Usually, the best is co-founders lah. They don't really start one. Most of them lah. To be fair, I'm not generalizing, but I'm not saying everyone, but most of the time, they are not lah because they know how to count too well already. So the founder are usually the business development person, right? And the visionary. So many of them actually don't look at their numbers one. They don't know their numbers well. Best is profit and loss, right? But of course, the three main statement, profit and loss, cash flow statement, and the balance sheet. Most will just look at P&L and you'll be very surprised. Even those like 1 million, 2 million, they don't have a P&L also. Really, or coach, when I first start out, I also...
They don't know their
they-
P&L.
No, they don't know their P&L. When the coach asks for P&L, they don't have.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you're saying that people with businesses under 1 million don't even know whether they're profitable or not?
Don't know. Even above 1 million. No, even above 1 million, because we only take above 1 million.
Right,
So
right.
those 1, 2 million, they ask them for P&L, they don't have. So some even not submit to the accountant yet. Right? Some submit to the accountant, come back is the accountant book. They don't have a management P&L. They don't know.
They don't know the
Yeah,
numbers.
it's very scary one, I can tell you. Those one, the very small one, first above 10 million for sure they know lah.
Yeah.
So I've thought about this 1, 2 million, got one case that, many cases are like that, the small one, below 5 million type. So one even interesting, he provides a certain service. I don't want to go too detailed, maybe you later find out who is it. I don't want to mention name but the problem was, the business was making losses. So it's actually raised fund to do one. They're making losses. So then when we grow, we ask the P&L, they actually don't have a P&L. So when my coach went in and find out, actually every service he sold, he lost money.
Wow.
He don't know. Because there's some other add-ons and all that
Right.
variable cost that he didn't count.
Factor
So
in, yeah.
So the more he would sell, the more he would
Yeah.
lose.
Oh.
So shocking, That's why it's like that's why that is very rare lah. There is not very rare, common with those. I think even 5, they are maybe 2, less than 3 million. Less than 1 million for sure. A lot of them are like that. Yeah, but less than 3 million also there are company like that. So those are even first P&L also they don't see lah.
Yeah.
Then cash flow, of course, the few million all also cash flow. And of course, I have the privilege to work with all the way from startup down to the ultra scale lah, the multi-billion. And some people are scared of cash flow problem. I said every layer also cash flow problem.
Yep.
Right? I
Yep.
said if you have 100,000 company, you have 10,000 cash flow problem. No? You have 1 million company, you have 100,000. No?
Yep.
If you have 100 million company, you have 10 million. No? If you have 1 billion, you have 100 million cash flow problem. So every business also got a cash flow problem one, right? Very seldom they have cash flow problem one, right?
Yep.
So, but they're very scared of cash flow problem. But they also don't have a cash flow statement, or they don't look at the cash flow statement.
Right.
This is second thing they don't look at. When I say that, I also talking to myself. When I first started, I also don't see that, right? So then they don't know they will run out of cash by when one, right? Sometimes even just in 3 months, 4 months. And a lot of the smaller one, less than 10 million, I say 1 to 5 million. That's why now I actually set a new guideline for my coach. I say don't take anything smaller than 3 million already. Last time it's 1 million. Because I realized 1 to 2 million, 3 million, also a lot of problem, Also
Yeah.
all have P&L, don't know cash flow. So yes, we can do, but it's too many groundwork. It's taken a lot of time for us to grow them. So I say I'd rather those who are a bit more ready, then we can grow and scale them, right? Actually, our expertise is really scaling. 10 million onward, then we can scale. Because many things is done right already. Then we just scale it, help them to scale, right? So then don't even talk about balance sheet lah. So balance sheet, I think even above 10 million, 20, 30, 50 million, also they may not really look at they don't know how to really look at their balance sheet lah. Those are usually, I think, come with a corporate CFO background, then they know how to play with the velocity of the stock and then the balance sheet and all that. But for normal SME or even they grow up, they don't.
They don't pay attention. I mean,
they don't even see. Just now we just had an example, right? This entrepreneur, I never even look at my balance sheet.
What balance sheet? Yeah, and I guess the takeaway from this is that most entrepreneurs, when they start, like you say, opportunistic, they start a business. Oh, this business can do this business. It's very revenue focused or profitability focused, maybe cash flow focused. But typically, once they've earned their money, and then they just leave it, and then just keep doing that. But I think that's the power of the entrepreneur, because they can spot opportunities, right? And I guess for the balance sheet, thankfully can be outsourced. You don't need a power entrepreneur to figure that number out, right? It's just to, like you said, have a strategy in place. If you have a strategy for P&L and cash flow, should you also have a strategy for balance sheet?
Yeah. Actually, for me also very reason when you spoke about the treasury management. So to me, I always think treasury management is for a little core multi-billion company. So only when you introduce, of course, you share the case of the 200 million revenue with 200 million profit. And like, wow, what is this, man? So then, I also thinking actually it's true also, including me myself, right? My cash flow is like putting there with not touching them. So what are we doing with it, right? Even the investment, and many people are like that. Their cash is living in the company. Are they doing a proper treasury management?
Correct.
And of course, they are not exposed, and they won't know until people like Jeremy, right, or CFO of the big company. Then they know how to have the treasury and this and that, all the different department of the finance.
I guess
they don't even have a bookkeeper. That's all.
I think the concept is that treasury is only for big companies, but actually that's not true, right? At every level, that literally you can do something in your balance sheet as long as you have a strategy, lah.
Yeah. So,
where do you want to get to, right?
Yeah.
So like these kind of companies that you consult with, how many of them have like substantial cash reserves that are just sitting around doing nothing? Is it a common thing?
Very common. I'm just saying, if you ask me, maybe out of 10 company, 8, 9,
right,
who are having the cash can be, varies, right, from few 100,000 to 40, 50, 20, 30 million, right? So, many of them, I think they will do the basic, like a daily interest thing. Right, that one is common. I think most of them do practice the moment they have
like money market stuff, lah.
Yeah, money market. So, but it's a daily transaction, right? Daily interest, so they can. It's fluid, They don't need to. It's not an FD for 1 month or whatever. So they do that. But I think about long-term treasury management, I think most of them may not look at that.
Yeah.
And like, is there a market? Like, I mean, because I know there's a lot of business coaches out there. Like, do they actually go into your finances and take a look at it, dissect it, and say, oh, look, there's this pocket here that is not being used or anything?
I'm sure they are, but skill, at the skilled level, I'm not sure. They are always like, like the ex-CFO come out to do consulting or that. Then definitely they will can. But if the background of the coach is marketing, then they may not be able to see that one. Yeah. So that is really depend on how, where is the background. At the skilled level, no. Let's say we're 120 coach. Not everyone have a finance background, right? So that's why we are trying to do that. So we're working with Alvin. We are trying to introduce this to all our clients, to our coaches first, then to the client. At least everyone, I think every entrepreneur should have this sense of treasury management. Of course, now also different now. With the EquitiesTracker, the private banking offering is different, because for usually the asset management high level, and there are many levels, but most are, if a high level range is very high, right? Easily few million or 10 million. What I know, one of them is minimum 20 million asset management, right? So not many company or individual or SME can afford that also, or at that level. But now I think for EquitiesTracker, 100,000 you can start something. Then a lot of SME can do, right? So but they just don't know, because the previous perception is still private banking or
Correct.
treasury management. Maybe when at least I have 10 million extra cash,
Yep.
then I would start to think
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
So now, you make it affordable. I mean, it's easy to start. So I
Yeah.
think it should be introduced. I think for me as an example, right, I already make a decision actually that I will not invest in crypto because I don't know about it. I also don't have time to study.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I never want to, and that's I already make a decision until I start the treasury management review. Then you say, hey, you want to put 80-20 in
Yeah.
the 20 in the crypto, 80 in the equity.
Yeah.
So you say, of course you explain that you invest in the index, right? 4 different crypto. Okay, lor. I mean, it's like, doesn't matter the 80-20. Worst case, I say, what's the worst case? 0 lah, right?
Yep,
Okay,
yep,
0,
yep.
but I say, okay,
Yep.
won't be lah, but risk is
Yeah,
is
risk.
You still
zero
got
lah.
your bed sheet there.
Yeah,
lah.
so that's why I said, then okay lah. But I know of further crypto, it could be shoot up like crazy also. That doesn't matter lah. If I put in my treasury management 80-20,
Yep.
then you all manage for me, then
Yeah.
I'm okay to take it. Of course, I won't do the other way around. I won't take 80% crypto and 20% equity lah. But 80-20, I'm okay. Just go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you shared a lot of really good stories with regards to how businesses run. Just want to close it off a bit by looking at the current situation of Malaysia right now.
Right.
lah. I mean, is there any argument that we're in for some tough times in the next few months in terms of the business
Malaysia
community?
entrepreneur scene.
Yeah.
Businesses, what's your
Businesses, yeah.
feel of business? in
Yeah,
the
what's your
next
feel
6
of businesses? Are they slowing down here? Are they picking up? What is the next 3 years looking like? And
Okay,
how?
I speak with very big bias.
For sure.
Big bias for Malaysia. I pro Malaysia lah. Okay, I because I travel quite a fair bit, and I think I spend 2 weeks away from Malaysia every month. 2 weeks Malaysia, 2 weeks away. Right, 1 week is in Dubai, and 1 week it depends lah. Whether regional, everywhere. So, but of course I go there for business also, not just for fun, right? I go Dubai, I set up a regional HQ there. Of course, the booming there, I see so we are in 6 countries also. We have in Jakarta, we have in Bangkok, we have coach fly there every month. I fly Dubai, but some of them fly Jakarta, some of them fly Bangkok. So we have coaches in Vietnam, so different. So with all this information, I still think Malaysia is very, very good.
In what sense?
Of course, I always speak from an eagle's view lah. So I speak from experience, engagement I had with a friend 10 years ago, but I think it still holds true today. So he was from this global company. I don't want to mention him, but it's a global company in 120 countries. So they restructure their finance department from all these 100 countries, and they need to choose one country to go to put all their finance department in one, centralize it. 120 countries, they choose Malaysia.
Oh.
And they're in Bandar Utama, right? One Utama. So
Right.
Bandar Utama, the office building. So I
Right.
don't want to mention name, but you can Google maybe. But I said, hey,
Why?
why Malaysia,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
wow, everyone will want to go out of Malaysia. And hey, he have so many options, global
Yeah.
company, so much resources. And you know his job, he's not the operation guy, he is a Lean Six Sigma or don't know what black belt, or he has a lot of all this certification. His job is the champion of this transformation. So his job is to make sure this transition success. So the HQ gave them 3 years time to make it success. I said, what if fail? Go back. You know how much that costs or not? To restructure the whole finance department, come to one place and doesn't even go back. You know how expensive is the exercise or not? But yet they're willing to take this risk, So can you just imagine how much they value Malaysia as a place?
But why?
Why leh? I also asked him why. So he very simple. Actually, very simple. He just give me few reasons, and from then I always love Malaysia one. I think Malaysia is the really good lah. But
Hidden
a lot
gem,
of feeling lah. So but
Uncovered
then
gem, yeah.
with that is a lot of facts he gave them to me. He said number one, 2/3 of the world population is surround Malaysia. Philippines, India, China,
Indonesia.
all these,
Yeah.
they are 2/3 of the world population is surrounded here. Number one. Number two, among all these countries, we don't have natural disaster.
Yep.
Number three, our politics is considerably stable. Of course, for us in Malaysia, we always say, we keep changing
5 prime ministers in the
minister,
last
but to
7
them,
years.
hey, no bloodshed.
Yeah.
It's a peaceful transition.
Yeah.
Isn't better than many countries that strike every month lah.
Yeah.
Then, what happened in our neighboring country?
talking about what we're talking about now, Indonesia, Thailand, and Nepal, most recently, it's crazy, right?
It feels like the world's going crazy around
Yeah,
us sometimes.
Yeah, even London. I have a friend just there. I just zoom in from London. We have a meeting. I say, hey, what time now? 7. Where are you going later? Strike. on strike. Strike for what? Don't know lah. Everyone also got strike. So I said, you go out lah, represent Malaysia. So anyway, so he said, political is considerably stable. Then the living expenses standard of living is considerably lower among this area, right?
Yep.
And consider, I just count from here and Dubai. I fly Dubai every month, right? The price average about 3 to 4 times more.
Yeah.
A McDonald's is 50 ringgit. Right? So, and you go to this Numbeo website to compare all the living expenses in multiple cities, right? So they give a very good measurement. If you earn 13,000 ringgit in Malaysia, to remain this same lifestyle, in Dubai you need 28 or 38,000. 38,000. You need earn 38,000 ringgit to maintain the same lifestyle you have in Malaysia. So can you imagine the living expenses, right? So that's fourth. Fifth is language. Imagine go Japan, how you gonna set up a global HQ there, right? You cannot even speak Japanese and all that. But Malaysia, English, Mandarin is very common, right? So all these 5 reasons is a very so they come with a very clear criteria and strategic reason to choose.
Criteria, you said.
Malaysia. And guess what? 10 years later, they're still here. So it means that the transition has been successful. But you see, can you imagine people with 120 country option choose Malaysia to be their global finance HQ?
Yeah.
And us Malaysians keep want to go out.
It's always the case, right?
Yeah. So if you ask me, I really see a beautiful every time I come back, I feel very grateful. Seriously, I come back. So a lot of people say, hey, would you? A lot of people move to Dubai right now. You got a 10 years golden visa and all that. There are a lot of people ask me, hey, are you planning to move to Dubai? I said, I love this place. I really like Dubai, right? Of course, the melting pot, 200 countries there, and a lot of great things. The few hundreds of world records there. Anything also world record one. The largest cantilever, the highest building, the tallest this, the biggest that, the deepest that. The tallest to the deepest also in Dubai, right? The tallest building, the deepest pool. The pool, don't know how many deep dives that go into
crazy,
it. So then it's even just a building cantilever. Wow, it's like a hotel, the one world, the one and only. Then the cantilever, the world largest cantilever, and then inside is 3 floors of restaurant. I going, wow, so beautiful. Then even one of my coach, he bought a normal residential condo only, but very nice. Because there, every building not square only lah. They have some design, right? So even a condo, normal condo, he just bought 1 million plus as a unit. Then the on top of that is the running track. Guinness World Record, world highest running track.
Wow.
Anything also world record one, right? It's like stunning, but I still like Malaysia. Right?
It's a place to visit, not a place to stay lah.
Compared to Malaysia, actually a lot of people become a place to stay. A lot of people move there permanently. So, but I'm comparing with Malaysia. The food, the price, the people, the weather. There is hot, it's like 50 degree. Cold is like 10 plus degree. So
it's quite drastic.
So for us, there's no 4 seasons, right? Don't need to change one set of clothes there forever, right? Don't need to buy 4 seasons. So there's just and of course we have very even business. I just talk about business, right? I have this one of our. Of course, some of you know I'm sitting in the board of Signature, right? It's a public listed company. So we recently have a subsidiary just called public listed. It's called Signature Alliance Group. It's doing interior fit out. I have also talked to another interior fit out company who's trying to go to multiple countries, and then they have only 10, 20 million, and then they are trying to establish a different country and all that. So Signature Alliance Group, just in Malaysia, their revenue is 400 million. Just in Malaysia. And our order book, I think now maybe 1B, I forgot exact number, but it's still growing lah. There's still, so we are, I believe we were going to 1 billion revenue just in Malaysia, right? Still can grow. Yeah, that's why the founder said, why need to look outside, right? So same, even last time Chin Hin also, now only he start to go Singapore and other country, but after so many years, right? But at first, the first few years, he said, I never even looked beyond Malaysia. He said, yeah, we can complain everything about Malaysia, but Malaysia is the where gave us whatever we have right now, right? As an entrepreneur, all of us are doing well, right? It's all given by Malaysia. So to me, it's so much more opportunity, so much more great thing gonna happen.
I think that's a nice note for us to end our Malaysia Day podcast, because I think this will be coming out very close to Malaysia Day.
Go to my YouTube and search why I love Malaysia. Yeah, I have actually a 17 to 19-minute video
Right.
just to share why I love Malaysia so
We'll
much.
put the link here somewhere.
Yeah. So, anak Malaysia.
Yeah. Happy Malaysia
Hey,
Day.
sometimes I come back, in the airport, I will sing some Malaysia song lah. Demi negara yang no, one time I come back, I like this song lah. I mean, like when I remember I sing until halfway, then the other guy continued the chorus, you know. Then it's a Malay guy.
It's like music video for Petronas.
Yeah, really, it's like so funny. It's like wow. So, but okay lah, patriotic, right? But I really love Malaysia. Yeah.
Yep. Hi. Yeah, thanks again, Joescher, Chuck, everyone for being here. I think we had a great conversation. Of course, those of you watching, Happy Malaysia Day, very close to it, and Selamat Merdeka. We just passed it. Thank you very much. We'd love to hear your comments and insights. If you like more of this stuff, please comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe.
And if you have any survival stories that you want to tell us as well, please DM us in our social media, and we'll get you on the program as well.
Yes.
So we'll hold hand and sing the Negaraku. Setia
yang tercinta dicurahkan penuh setia. Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.
Raja.